What's up, guys? We're going to take a idiosyncratic look at Fans Toys Apache, which obviously is their interpretation of Springer. And I'll take a little look at the box here. It's kind of regular box type stuff. It's triple changer, 3 modes. They need a new graphics department. Some stuff on the side of the box. I guess that's going to be his copter mode. This will probably be his car mode. Some Masterpiece style backdrop product photos there. And then I guess you could probably read that if you're into that type of thing. And yeah, it's green. It comes with a card that I am probably just going to leave in this little bag here. Instructions, which leave out random steps now and then. And then we get the figure. He is heavy. So on the scale, he is 1 pound and 9 ounces exactly. And that is 708 grams. And he has a silver sword, and he has a green sword. I'm going to leave this unpegged for right now, but these are floppy. It doesn't feel super masterpiecey, but you know, I guess it's going to be construction. It's got to look like blades. So they gave us a silver one for robot mode, so it looks like a sword, and then a green one for copter mode if you're, you know, wanting matching copter blades. He's got standard type of gun, poses well. He is heavy, nice solid ratchets in the hips. He's got double joints in the knees. So you can get this section to turn and this section to turn. This is a little more stiff in the upper thigh. It's got die-cast feet, the toe pivots, and the heel pivots. So you got to do both, but that shouldn't be that big of a deal. His front tires are rubber. His back tires are plastic, and they do not get much grip. He's loaded in paint. His chest is all painted. Looks like his helmet is painted. It seems to cast a certain type of shine to it. These shoulder chunks feel like die cast. They are cool and stiff, and the paint looks like it does on die cast. You get the option with the arms here to you can leave them down, which the top of it looks like that, or you could drop it down and then you could have that type of look for him. It's like Goldilocks because he does not have enough chunk. He's got too much chunk, right amount of junk. Okay, so as far as aesthetics, I would say Fans Toys takes it out of these three. It depends what you're into as far as transformation, because this guy accomplishes a lot in a few steps, but it could be a little too simple. This guy is like simple. It's not a perfect transformation. This is a great transformation. This is a good transformation, but if you're this is where the dividing line is that I like complex transformations. I want to start transforming something and you know, be doing it for a little bit. I don't want to transform something and be done in like 5 to 10 seconds or be done in 2 minutes. You know, I really enjoy the complex transformations, as long as one step isn't contingent on 3 other steps happening at the exact same time. As long as you can go 1 step, lock that in, 2nd step, lock that in, 3rd step, lock that in. That's it doesn't matter how complex. If you're able to do those things and lock each step in, then I'm gonna like it. And this pretty much has that if you know what you're doing. So actually, as far as the back aesthetics go, I would say Open Play has got a really streamlined, attractive back, but I don't think any of them really have an ugly back. The main aesthetic to Springer is the chest, and I think as far as the grill on all of these, that they did a pretty good job. I feel like this one might hang down a little bit too far, or maybe it's just because his top chest is just too long or too big. But I really like how angular this one is. It's kind of like raised up, and it also makes it more of like a heroic chest too, rather than just kind of like a flat thing. He's even got more detail in this stomach area. That's much more attractive than these guys. I think the crotch is going to be more attractive than these guys. While this guy's really nice with the bold, vibrant colors, now that I see these two, the more minty green legs feels more right. And now that I see this guy, I really like the deeper forest green and the more pea soup. That's exactly what this color is. This is totally pea soup green, and I like that better. I feel like that's going to complement all of those bright pastel 80s movies colors. Yeah, that looks like Springer. And the face doesn't look like a Springer head with Grapple's face squeezed into it. Even the position of these square things that wrap around the back feels more complementary to the head than this guy and this guy. This feels like he's wearing a really big helmet. This guy, I don't know how to describe that. But this, that looks like a robot head sculpt. Alright, here he is with some of these guys. Some Fans Toys comparisons, and then, you know, just other movie bots, obviously. He's looking like he's about MP10 height. Actually, so he is a bit bigger than MP10. Let me get out there, Galvatron. So yeah, it looks like Fans Toys does not have a problem kind of starting their own slightly beefed up style scale. So yeah, he's a hair bigger than MP10, hair bigger than Rodimus, and kind of on par with Fans Toys Galvatron. So we're going to start off with car mode, and he's got squeaky stuff. The arm scoots up, but there is a tab here. The arm goes up into that little socket. The hand so you ball the hand up, and then it will reveal a yellow triangular wedge. After you get these open, you want to turn the hand inward, and then you can rotate it inward and reveal that yellow cheese wedge. Okay, so you get his neck flap out, and then this chest piece is going to come up, and it's going to rotate along on these pins right here, and these pins are in a track. I can't quite get the light in there and his shoulder's in the way, but there is an open track right here, and it goes this along this direction, and these are going to rotate the pins in there are going to rotate and pull out. And I have greased those already with some of this silicone shock oil. Let's do it. Alright. And with shock oil, that is a little bit more natural feeling. And it will allow us to have just enough clearance for his head and head spike to fit around here. And then we're going to have to push those down along the track again to get this even with the rest of the hood. And but before we do that, we've got to get his bottom chest thing out and move his head down, and then we can close that up, and then we can close in the middle flap there, which will reveal a tab, and that will latch into this whole area right here. So that's what you want to do. You want to get that back down, and now that will be flush. And there's all kinds of goodies in here. Fans Toys loves their things on tracks. These arm assemblies are going to come up and down, and that was going to allow his head to go flat. And then again, they are on tracks internally with that pin, which allows them to scoot in like that. And because it's the car mode, the wheels are going to go up front, obviously. And then his arms have a interesting little thing that helps knowing about. So he's got a flap there, and he's got a flap over here, and his arms or his shoulders are in a thing in the inside of the arm, and the arm is going to move down and up on that track to allow you to be able to turn the arm. And the way to do that, the way I like to do that is to, let's see, we have to turn it this way, so stabilize the thing in the middle of his arm while I push the arm around it, because you can see the plastic that holds this middle arm shoulder chunk onto his body is just that thick right there, so I would be afraid of that breaking. Rotate this and get that pointed forward. And we do that same business over here. It's just easier to use this little thingy. Provided by DX9, awesome little toy. Stabilize and then push away. And that'll allow us to rotate. And then these, they're still on those tracks in the middle, so actually I guess it's going to travel along this and compress. But before I did that, I should have pulled these little tabs out, and then they tab into the front, and then we push the hips up into the body like that. And that is the front of the body. The instructions tell you to move this piece back and then do the legs, but no, don't. For his legs, these side pieces are going to come out. Why even try to get a grip on it with something where there's no grip? So I just wedge it, and this has got a nice little blade wedge, and it's a nice little tool. Then inside his legs we got all kinds of funny business. Don't let it dissuade you, because we're here to have fun. And this thing is going to scoot up and get a little wedge in there just to be, just to inflict pain upon myself. Okay, there's a tab on the other side of this thing, and it's going to go from this hole to this hole. And pegs in nicely. This whole business is on a track, so we can scoot that up all of this business is going to just kind of hang out and just kind of tuck in here. Okay, the foot's going to go flat and turn around, and then all of this stuff is going to come up like that, and then the I think this little notch right here is supposed to go into some of these holes, possibly the center one. But to try and line that up before you do the rest of all the other stuff, it seems like it just kind of falls into position once you get everything else ready to go. So yeah, for the car mode, the feet just kind of like hang out on the back, and that seems less than ideal, but and it's going to peg into this hole right here, and that will lock all of that in. And I don't know how the instructions want you to do all of that with the legs completely straight and locked in with these pegs in here. These are going to lock in with this, and I don't know, you have to be able to have the legs spread out to be able to do all that stuff. So here we go again. I just wish this all these movements in here were a little bit more clean. Get the foot turned around again. Don't grab that. Let's see. All these joints are tight in a good way. And get that plugged into there. And we tab all that together. Get this laid out straight. This is what it's going to look like. These tabs up here are going to tab into his waist holes, his waist receptacle. And then we can grab out his thingies. He's got panels up in here, and you can get your finger up in there. They do not tab into anything, but they flop out. This compresses down. That is not tabbed in. Alright, so for car mode, it is, you know, like I said, it's the least impressive looking thing about it. I really wish that the width of the car was the width of the front of the car was maintained throughout the back of the car. This isn't perfectly straight right here, but you're just gonna have to live with that. And these legs are not tabbed in for some reason. I must have missed a step, but it's 99.9% of the transformation. Minus that. This wheel turns. This wheel looks like the pin was pressed in just a little bit too much, but it does not turn unless you're turning it. It has no. And then I forgot to pull these out too. They have a little slot there where you can fit some fingernail in. Okay, so here's a technique. You can grab that with this, and with your other finger keep it latched on, and then just pull it out the distance that you need. The cockpit opens up for whatever reason. It's nice that the place that you'll put the Autobot symbol in the bot mode will look good in all of the modes. It's weird that, there is a, kind of an arch to the underside of the vehicle. It makes kind of a space vehicle. It kind of switches up the design. I just wish, this back part was wide, or if they had 4 rubber tires, I guess that probably wouldn't work if you're having to pull these out. Yeah, see, that looks like the movie. Something like that. That looks like that scene on the Junk Planet. But the rest of it does kind of look like a robot laying down. Let's move along, because the helicopter mode is a bit cooler. And push the arm up around it. Okay, so now we can get the larger cheese slopes on the front, and then we get those like that. That's going to just hang out. Yeah, we're going to bring this back up for the time being, because the rest of it is in the legs. The legs kind of split up. Half of the legs become the tail, and the other half of the legs, like these parts, are going to come up here. And when I saw that in the instructions, or actually when I was kind of skipping ahead in the instructions and saw these, I was like, clearly this is going to be what goes up there, but how in the F is that going to work? But it does. This transformation is, I would say, easier than Cup. There's definitely less steps with Cup, with their Fans Toys Cup, but this doesn't have parts where you have to force it and stress and flex plastic to get where you need to go. Just by doing that, this is already prepped because it's resuming from the position that it was in car mode. So we pull that out, and there's the tail of the plane basically done. And he's got legs like the Dinobots, where it was it the Brontosaurus, where it slides inward just to give you a little bit more room for them to meet in the middle. And again, I applied some of that silicone shock oil just to, especially just to make it cleaner, because there's not really a way to grip it other than just to mash on his thighs, and that just doesn't seem right. So I wanted that to go as smoothly as possible, and just added a little bit of that shock oil there as well. And then, yeah, the rest of his shin and everything is going to rotate up. And from the back, we should be done. But I guess I could probably wait to clean everything up. An eager beaver. We can clip, tires go in. Yeah, it's these stupid legs. Yeah, it's these legs again that are keeping it. But once you press the legs in, and they're all good, then everything, all these tabs will line up. But you wouldn't notice from looking at it. These are just going to fan out, fully extended, and flat as possible by so we get this fully extended, and then we gain more length by extending that along. To continue fully extending everything, there is an extra thing in here. It's going to turn around and fold up. So I had to move his waist up just like a centimeter. I didn't have it fully tracked up, and that's why those tabs weren't going into those holes. Then let's get this backpack back down. And then those are going to tab into these holes right here. Now these should line up. Start extending this other side as well. can't do these around the same time. So again, we extend that straight, extend that straight, extend this part out, and then these can, actually I'll get the length there. Alright, now these are going to tab into that chest area. And they tab into themselves as well. The two legs. Alright, snap, snap. Okay, so then we close this flap back up, which I should have done earlier. And then this is going to snap up on there, and there will be a gap remaining. That's in the box art, so you know that it's supposed to be like that. And then, oh brother. And then we do the same thing on this side with the flap that I forgot. Tap those in, tap it in properly. Tab it in properly. And then these parts out here are not listed in the instruction booklet, but they rotate and they are stiff. Stiff AF. This one, I gave some of that shock oil, and you can see that I can actually rotate it without, you know, turning my fingertips white. This one is so tight that it is just concerning. So what I'm going to do is demonstrate how I do the shock oil. So I was not certain that, you know, what the tabbing mechanism is, or, you know, what the pivoting mechanism is. I was, you know, because if it's a mushroom peg, then all the friction is going to be buried within here, and just sending it down the shaft and crossing your fingers might not get to it. But I tried it anyway, and it got down. It worked its way into the area and did what it needed to do. So I just kind of wait for a droplet to accumulate, and there it goes. And I'm just going to let it drip down on its own into that area since I can't access it. You can also use a toothpick. Just get a drop at the bottom of the toothpick and then just kind of carefully send it down. But I'm just going to, look at that, it's already so much easier to turn that. And now it will forever be easier, and I didn't have to do nothing. And let's see, I guess we could take this QC sticker off, because now that I've transformed every mode twice, I'll give it my quality approval as well. And we'll implement some green. This is some flimsy feeling plastic, but it's all good. I just am definitely going to rotate it at the base and not ever up here. You do have to kind of pull them apart a little bit, and that's another reason why it just sketches me out, because like that's where that strength is this thickest piece right here, and it's still so weak and pliable that it just bends. But wine. The rotating thing is not very smooth, and I forgot to do the tail fins. And we get that set up, and there we go. He does not have landing gear. Oh, wait a minute. I did this again. There we go. Okay. Alright, so his tabs were not tabbed into that backpack. Now everything's locked in. Even better. There's a lot of steps. Did I mention there's a lot of steps? And let's see. Looks like he's got a tab back here. I wonder if there's any place on his helicopter mode for a gun. At first glance it would not appear, so the front of the vehicle is pretty cool. That definitely is evocative of the cartoon. Huge chunk of a hood. But yeah, everything tabs in nice. Nice colors. I should get it with that. I should get Autobot symbol on there for the video. But there it is with the cockpit open. And there are all of its accessories out of the box. Let's see. I wonder if shock oil will help this rotation. Little dippy dab in there. And I think it did give some extra rotation, some extra ease. But yeah, I'd recommend him. He is definitely the best Springer I think we've got so far. And every mode is pretty nice except for the car mode. The transformation for all the modes is pretty good if you're, like remembering all the steps, unlike I did. I would definitely recommend him. It definitely seems like the superior Springer that we've gotten so far. It seems like all of the Springers that came out this year were just to give us something to chew on until Fans Toys came out with theirs. It's because it's like Unique Toys probably knew the Fans Toys was on it. Open and Play probably knew the Fans Toys was on it. Even Toy World did a Springer more scaled towards this guy. And I think they were even trying to jump in, throw their hat into the ring before Fans Toys came out with theirs, because, once Fans Toys does it, I don't know how many other companies are going to make an entrance into that character. His car mode is definitely the weakest part of the figure. If you're not into complex transformations, I might pass if I were you. If you are just into how it looks on your shelf, you might just want to get it and transform it once or twice for yourself. But once your first time transforming it, you're going to be like, oh my god, dude, another step to just do this simple thing. But once you get used to it, it's like transforming Masterpiece Wheeljack or, MP Megatron. There's just steps. You just do one step at a time. And don't get ahead of yourself. And it can be fun. But once again, it's been another idiosyncratic review. Thanks for watching, guys. Till next time, take care.